The grand hall of Valthara's royal palace was filled with shimmering lights and murmurs of alien voices. Nobles in colorful robes, glittering armor, and strange shapes filled the space. The high dome above reflected stars from the dark sky. Outside, making the room look like a piece of the galaxy itself. At the center stood the alien Baron Karzak, a powerful and proud man with scales shining silver and sharp eyes filled with cold amusement. Today was a day for celebration, or so everyone thought. The Baron raised his clawed hand and called for silence. The chatter faded like a wave leaving a shore, and all eyes turned toward the stage. Baron Karzak's voice echoed through the hall, deep and clear. Loyal friends and allies of Valthara, today I bring you a gift, a prize for our victories. And a reminder of human weakness, he said, his words dripping with mockery. From behind him, 2 guards rolled forward a large platform. Upon it sat a young woman in a sleek silver hoverchair. Her skin was pale blue with soft purple tones, and her deep green eyes stared straight ahead. She wore a dress of shimmering black fabric, but her body was still, the lower half motionless. The crowd fell silent. "This is Lady Zarina, my daughter," the Baron said proudly. "Once a fierce warrior in our armies, she was crippled in the last war. Paralyzed from the waist down, she is no longer a threat, no longer a prize, she is a burden." He paused, letting his words sink into the minds of the crowd. "And today, as a symbol of my contempt for humans, I give her to one of you, a human named Cole. Let him prove he can carry such a burden." The crowd gasped and whispered. To give a noble daughter to a human was unheard of. Some aliens frowned, others laughed quietly. The Baron smiled coldly. His plan was cruel, a joke to humiliate both his daughter and the human. From the shadows, a tall man stepped forward. His clothes were simple, made of tough fabric and worn from many travels. His face was calm and steady, eyes sharp but kind. This was Cole, a former soldier and engineer from Earth. He had been summoned without much choice. He approached the platform without fear. He bowed slightly to Lady Zarina, then looked at Baron Karzak. The Baron sneered. "Will you accept this gift, human?" he asked, voice loud enough for all to hear. Cole nodded. "I will take care of her." The hall erupted with laughter and disbelief. How could a human accept such a task? Surely this would be his downfall, but Cole's face showed no shame. "I do not see this as a burden," he said softly. "I see a chance to prove that humans are stronger than you think." The Baron's eyes flashed with anger, but he said nothing more. The ceremony ended quickly after that. Guards rolled Zarina's chair down the hall while Cole followed quietly. The crowd's laughter faded into whispers, many shaking their heads. Later, as they prepared to leave, Cole looked at Zarina. "Can you hear me?" he asked gently. She did not answer. Cole knew this journey would not be easy. The young woman before him had lost much. Her spirit was broken, her trust in others shattered. She had been a warrior once, proud and strong. Now she felt like a shadow of herself. On the ship leaving Valthara, Cole sat beside her. The room was small but clean. He pulled out a small device, a translator and communicator. "I am Cole," he said simply. "I will help you." Zarina's green eyes flickered slightly. It was the first sign of life. Days passed quietly as the ship traveled toward a distant moon colony. Cole learned that Zarina was not used to kindness. She expected to be pitied or ignored. She had seen humans before, but never close. One evening, Cole showed her a holoscreen. It displayed a simple garden scene, birds flying, flowers blooming. "This is Earth," he said. "I come from a place where people fight hard, but they never give up." She looked at the image and finally whispered, "Why do you help me?" Cole smiled softly. Because you deserve respect. Because no one should be left behind. The words seemed strange to her. In her world, weakness was punished and mercy was rare. But Cole did not treat her as weak. He listened, learned her needs, and never rushed. After weeks of travel, they reached the moon colony, a place where humans and aliens lived together peacefully. The air was clean and the stars shone brighter here. Zirina was lifted from her chair into a specially made room. It was filled with strange machines and soft lights. Cole explained, "This is a therapy center. It will help you move again." Zirina was doubtful. "I cannot walk," she said. "I am broken." Cole shook his head. No one is broken forever. That night, alone in the quiet room, Zirina allowed herself to hope a little. For the first time in years, she dreamed of walking, slowly. She began to trust Cole not as a savior, but as a partner. Together, they prepared for the hardest challenge of all, to prove to the galaxy that even the weakest can become strong again. The therapy room was quiet, filled only with soft hums from the machines and the faint glow of light panels on the walls. Lady Zirina sat in her hover chair, eyes fixed on the bright screen ahead. It showed a virtual space, a simulation designed to help her regain control over her body. Cole stood nearby, adjusting the settings of the equipment. He had spent many days learning about the alien technologies that once served her, and he combined them with human engineering. The goal was simple but difficult: to awaken movement in her paralyzed legs, even if only inside the virtual world. Zirina was tense. Her body was stiff and her mind was filled with doubt. Could she really move again? Could she find strength in a body that had betrayed her? Cole noticed her hesitation. He took a small step closer and spoke softly. "Try to imagine your legs moving. The simulation will help you. You don't have to be afraid." Slowly, Zirina reached out and touched the controls. Her fingers trembled, but she tried to focus Dot as the simulation began. She saw herself standing on a green field, sunlight warming her face. She lifted one foot, then the other. The sensation was strange, like waking from a long sleep. Her mind sent signals, and the virtual legs obeyed. Cole watched quietly. This was the first time in years that she had felt such freedom. For hours, they worked together. Each small movement became a victory. Zirina's confidence grew, and with it, a quiet hope. Outside the therapy room, the moon colony was a place of peace. Humans and aliens shared their homes, their knowledge, and their hopes for a better future. It was a world different from Velthura's harsh courts and endless wars. News of the strange Gif, the paralyzed alien noblewoman taken in by a human, slowly spread through the colony. Some whispered about the human's courage. Others doubted. It could last. In a small workshop nearby, Cole worked late into the night. Using tools from both Earth and Velthara, he built a special exo-rig, a mechanical suit designed to help Zirina walk again. It was light but strong, made to support her weight and respond to her neural commands. The design was new. No one had tried this combination before. When Cole showed the rig to Zirina, her eyes widened. "Will this help me walk?" she asked, hope and fear mixing in her voice. "It will," Cole said firmly. "But it will take time and strength. Are you ready?" Zirina hesitated. Her pride fought with her desire. But she nodded. The next days were filled with effort. With Cole's help, she strapped into the exo-rig. At first, it was difficult. Her legs felt heavy and strange. She lost balance and fell back into her chair. Cole never gave up. "Try again," he encouraged. "Every step counts." Gradually, Zirina learned to control the rig. Step by step, she moved forward. It was slow and sometimes painful, but she was walking. The people of the moon colony began to take notice. They watched in awe as the once paralyzed alien noblewoman took steps without help. One evening, in a small gathering hall, Cole arranged for Zirina to demonstrate her progress. The hall was packed with humans and aliens, all curious and doubtful. Zirina entered, supported by the exo-rig. The room was silent. Eyes watched her every movement. She took a deep breath and stepped forward. 1 step, 2 steps, then 3. Her face was steady, filled with quiet determination. The crowd began to whisper in amazement. No one had believed she could walk again. Among the listeners was a group of alien nobles from Velthara, sent to observe the situation. Some sneered, others frowned, unwilling to accept this new truth, but Zirina did not stop. She walked across the hall, her movements growing stronger and more confident with each step. When she reached the other side, a cheer rose from the humans in the audience. Some aliens clapped, though reluctantly. Cole stood near her, proud but quiet. This was more than just walking. It was a statement. A challenge to the cruel joke made by the Baron Dot in the days that followed. Zirina and Cole worked harder than ever. They tested new ideas, improved the exo-rig, and trained her body to grow stronger. Yet, not all was peaceful. One night, Cole received a warning message from a friend in the colony. A mercenary group, known for capturing valuable targets, was planning to strike. Their goal, to kidnap Zirina. The mercenaries wanted to use her as a bargaining chip against Lord Karzak. Her fame made her a valuable prize. Cole shared the news with Zirina. Her eyes hardened. "I think I am weak," she said, "but I am no one's prisoner." Together, they began to prepare for what might come. Cole upgraded the exo-rig with defensive tools. Zirina trained harder, learning combat moves adapted to her new body. The Moon Colony's people offered help too. They respected her courage and wanted to protect her. As days passed, tension grew. The mercenary threat loomed like a dark cloud. Yet, in the quiet moments, Cole and Zirina shared stories. She told him about her past, the wars, the loss, and the pain of being paralyzed. He told her about Earth, about battles he fought and the hope he held. Their bond grew deeper, not as master and servant, but as two warriors fighting against the odds. The galaxy watched silently. The alien baron's cruel joke was turning into something no one expected, a legend of strength, hope, and friendship, and the first true test of that legend was about to begin. The sun rose slowly over the moon colony, casting soft light over the domes and buildings. Birds chirped faintly in the artificial gardens, and the hum of daily activity began to fill the air. But for Zirina and Cole, the morning was different, heavy with purpose. Today, Cole planned to test the latest version of the exo-rig, one stronger and more flexible than before. It had improved neural links to Zirina's nervous system, making movement smoother and faster. It also had some new features, lightweight armor plating and small energy shields, designed to protect her from attacks. Zirina's green eyes shone with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She dressed carefully, the exo-rig fitting over her body like a second skin. The suit gave her height and presence. More than just a machine, it was a part of her now. Cole watched silently as she took her first step. It was sure and steady. Then another. And another. "This feels different," Zirina said quietly. "More like me." "Because you are learning to control it," Cole replied. "This is your strength, not just the suit." They moved to the training grounds, a large open space with soft mats and various targets set up. The colony's instructors gathered to watch, curious about how far Zirina had come. "Show them what you can do," Cole said softly. Zirina nodded. She began to walk faster, turning and moving with grace. Then she activated the shields, a faint blue glow appearing around her arms. She moved toward the targets and used swift strikes to knock them down. The crowd watched in awe. Many had doubted she could ever fight again, but here she was stronger and faster than before. After the training, a respected alien commander approached. "Lady Zyrina," he said respectfully, "you have exceeded all expectations. You honor your house and yourself." Zyrina bowed slightly, the hint of a smile on her lips. Cole stood beside her, proud but calm. "This is just the beginning," he said, but danger was near. That night, the colony's security alert sounded a warning. Scouts reported that mercenaries were moving closer, using stealth ships to avoid detection. Cole and Zyrina prepared quickly. The exo-rig was fully charged, and Cole double-checked all systems. "We must protect the colony," Zyrina said firmly. "And ourselves." The mercenaries struck at dawn. Their ships landed just outside the colony walls. Armed fighters moved in, fast and organized. Zyrina led the defense. With her exo-rig, she moved faster than anyone expected. She blocked attacks with her shields and countered with precise strikes. Cole fought beside her, using his engineering skills to hack enemy drones and disable weapons. The battle was fierce. The mercenaries expected an easy prize, but Zyrina was no longer the paralyzed girl they had heard about. She fought with the spirit of a true warrior. The colony's defenders joined the fight, inspired by her bravery. Slowly, the attackers began to retreat, but one mercenary captain remained. He challenged Zyrina directly, a fierce alien with 4 arms and sharp blades. The duel was tense. Zyrina dodged and blocked, using all her strength and skill. Cole provided support, managing energy shields and repairing the suit when needed. In a final move, Zyrina struck the captain's weapon from his hands. He surrendered. The mercenaries fled, defeated. The colony celebrated. Zyrina was no longer just a symbol of hope. She was a hero. News of the battle spread across the stars. Aliens and humans alike admired her courage, but not everyone was happy. Baron Karzak heard of his daughter's victory. His face twisted in anger and disbelief. "How dare she defy me?" He growled. He sent a message, demanding her return to Velthara. Zyrina read the message. She looked at Cole and said, "I will go back, but not as a weak daughter. I will go as a legend." Cole nodded. "And I will go with you." Together, they prepared for the journey back to the Baron's palace. This time, they would not be pawns. They would be warriors, ready to change the fate written for them. The stars glittered coldly as the sleek ship cut through space on its way to Velthara, the home world of Lady Zyrina. Inside, the atmosphere was tense but filled with quiet determination. Zyrina sat tall in her exo-rig, the advanced suit humming softly as it responded to her every thought. Cole sat nearby, his eyes steady, preparing for what lay ahead. Their journey had been long, but the hardest part was still to come. The palace of Baron Karzak was a place of old power and deep pride. For years, it had been a fortress of cruelty and coldness, where weakness was punished and strength ruled. Zyrina was about to return not as the broken girl sent away, but as a warrior reborn. When their ship landed on Velthara, they were met with silence. The Baron's guards watched them with suspicion and curiosity. News of Zyrina's return and her recent battles had spread like wildfire, stirring mixed feelings among the nobles. Word reached the palace quickly. Baron Karzak stood before his court, his silver scales reflecting the pale light. His eyes burned with anger and disbelief. "My daughter," he spat, "has become a threat to everything I built. She has walked again, fought again." And with a human at her side, the nobles whispered. Some feared the Baron's wrath. Others secretly admired Zyrina's courage. At the Grand Hall's entrance, Zyrina and Cole stepped forward. The crowd parted in silence, watching as she walked steadily, her exo-rig moving like an extension of her body. The Baron's voice rang out, cold and sharp. "You have no place here, Zirina. You were a burden, and you remain one. Return to your chains or face disgrace." Serena stopped and looked him in the eye. Her voice was calm but firm. "Father, I am not your burden. I am my own person. I have walked beyond the limits you set. I fight for my people, for justice, and for the future." The hall fell into shocked silence. The Baron's face twisted in fury, but he found no words. Cole stood beside her, silent but strong. He did not need to speak. His presence was a statement itself. The nobles began to murmur among themselves. A few stepped forward, showing respect for Zirina's bravery. One elder spoke, "Lady Zirina has proven her worth. She carries the strength of both Velfara and Earth. She is a symbol of hope." Baron Karzak's eyes narrowed. "I will not have my house brought low by this human and his alien prize." Serena raised her voice. "You lost your chance to define me, Father. I choose my own path, and I choose to lead." With that, she turned and walked toward the palace gates, Cole following close behind. The nobles parted, some cheering softly, others silently watching. Outside, the city was alive with whispers and excitement. Word of Zirina's return spread quickly, and people gathered to see her. Many had heard of the human who helped her walk again, and the warrior who fought with courage and heart. In the days that followed, Zirina met with leaders and citizens, sharing her vision for a new future, one where weakness was not shamed, and strength was measured by courage and kindness. Cole supported her every step, using his knowledge to improve the exo-rig and plan strategies for the challenges ahead. Baron Karzak did not give up. He plotted to regain control, sending spies and agents to undermine Zirina's efforts. Yet, the more he tried, the stronger the legend of Zirina and Cole became. Together, they inspired many across Velfara and beyond, showing that even from the cruelest joke, a true hero could rise. The bright halls of Velfara's palace were filled with whispers and uneasy glances. Lady Zirina had returned not as the fragile daughter once cast away, but as a symbol of hope and strength. Her presence challenged the old ways and the cruel rule of Baron Karzak, but change rarely came without resistance. One afternoon, as Zirina and Cole walked through the palace gardens, a sudden alarm echoed through the halls. The mercenary threat that had loomed earlier was no longer a distant danger. They had returned, attacking with new force, hoping to capture Zirina and shatter the growing rebellion. The palace went into lockdown. Guards armed themselves and took positions, but the mercenaries were skilled and ruthless. Zirina knew she could not stand aside. She tightened the straps of her exo-rig, its armor plates gleaming under the palace lights. Cole checked the energy. "Shields and weapon systems one last time. Are you ready?" he asked. Zirina nodded, determination burning in her eyes. "I have never been more ready." The battle began suddenly. Mercenaries stormed the gardens, firing energy weapons and grenades. The palace defenders struggled to hold their ground. Zirina moved quickly, using the exo-rig's enhanced strength to block attacks and protect the innocent. She activated her energy shields, blue light shimmering around her arms. With precise strikes, she knocked weapons from enemy hands and disarmed several attackers. Cole stayed close, using his tech skills to hack enemy drones and disrupt their communication. Despite their efforts, the mercenaries pushed forward. One fierce warrior, larger than the rest with 4 arms and jagged blades, advanced toward Zirina. The fight became personal. Zirina dodged his blows, using agility and intelligence to stay ahead. She remembered the lessons from Cole and her own warrior past. Every move was deliberate, every strike aimed to disable, not destroy. The duel was long and difficult. The mercenary's strength was great, But Serena's determination was greater. When he lunged for a final blow, Serena caught his blade and twisted, sending him stumbling. With a swift kick, she knocked him to the ground. The mercenaries surrendered. Seeing their leader defeated, the rest of the mercenaries began to retreat. The palace defenders cheered. The danger was over. News of Serena's bravery spread fast. She was no longer just the paralyzed daughter of a baron. She was a leader who stood in the face of danger and fought with heart. Baron Karzak was furious. He had sent mercenaries to capture her, but instead she had defeated them. His cruel joke had become a legend. Yet, even in victory, Serena knew the fight was not over. She gathered her allies, humans and aliens alike, to strengthen their defenses and prepare for the challenges ahead. Cole continued to support her, always, working on new ways to improve her exo-rig and keep her safe. Together, they planned to change Velthara not through violence alone, but through courage, hope, and unity. The galaxy watched closely. From a cruel joke to a shining legend, Serena and Cole showed the true power of strength and friendship. The halls of the Velthora Palace felt different now. Where once there was cold silence and heavy pride, there was a new energy, a restless hope that stirred among the people. Lady Serena's return had changed everything, but the struggle to create a better future was far from over. For weeks, Serena and Cole worked tirelessly. Their days were filled with meetings, training sessions, and preparations for what might come next. The alliance between humans and aliens was fragile, but it was growing stronger. Cole had redesigned the exo-rig again. This new model was lighter, more responsive, and equipped with advanced defense systems. It was no longer just a tool for walking. It was a symbol of resilience. Serena tested it each day, learning new moves and pushing her limits. She was no longer the girl who believed. She was broken. Every step she took, every challenge she faced, proved that strength came not only from the body but from the will. One evening, during a quiet moment in the palace garden, Serena spoke to Cole. "I never imagined I could feel this way again," she said softly. "I thought my life was over when I lost the use of my legs, but you showed me something different." Cole smiled gently. "You had that strength inside you all along. I only helped bring it out." Their partnership was more than just friendship. It was trust, respect, and a shared belief that they could change the galaxy's view of weakness and power. But challenges remained. Baron Karzak was watching. His anger had not faded, and he sent spies and agents to disrupt Serena's plans. There were threats in the shadows, plots to discredit her, to divide her supporters. Serena refused to be broken again. She called a council of allies, leaders from both human and alien communities, to unite against the Baron's schemes. They discussed strategies to protect the colony and spread their message of hope. The council's meetings were difficult. Some doubted the idea of a human and a paralyzed alien leading change. Others feared the Baron's power. Yet Serena's courage was contagious. Her story inspired those who had lost faith. One day, a message arrived from a distant star system. It was an offer of help ships, supplies, and skilled warriors ready to join the cause. The news lifted spirits. The legend of Serena was growing beyond Velthara. Cole worked with engineers and scientists to adapt new technology for the exo-rig. They added communication devices and sensors that could detect danger early. Training sessions became more intense. Serena learned to fight with her new suit, moving faster and more confidently. She practiced leadership, giving speeches and visiting communities to spread hope. The galaxy began to see her as more than a noblewoman. She was a symbol, a legend born from pain, strengthened by friendship, and destined to change the stars. And as the alliance grew, so did the Baron's fear. He knew he could no longer control his daughter or the future she represented. One night, as Serena looked out at the stars from the palace balcony, Cole stood beside her. Are you ready for what's next? He asked. She smiled, eyes bright with determination. I am ready, because now I walk not just for myself, but for everyone who believes in a better tomorrow. Together they faced the night, united in purpose and hope. The day had come. The great hall of Valthara's palace was filled with expectant faces, nobles, leaders, and citizens alike. Word had spread that Lady Serena would make an important announcement. Many whispered, some doubtful, others hopeful. Serena stood at the center, her exo-rig shining under the soft lights. Beside her was Cole, steady and silent as always. Together, they represented more than a story of survival. They symbolized a new future. Baron Karzak sat in his high seat, his expression unreadable. The man who had once cast away his daughter now watched her as a legend. Serena's voice rang clear through the hall. I stand here today not as a broken girl, but as a warrior reborn. I have walked, fought, and led because I refused to be defined by weakness. She paused, scanning the room. Eyes met hers, some filled with respect, others with surprise. We are on the edge of change. For too long, fear and pride have ruled us. It is time to build a world where strength is measured by courage, kindness, and unity. A murmur of agreement spread. Serena continued, This alliance of humans and aliens will work together to protect the weak, support the fallen, and build a future where no one is left behind. Baron Karzak's eyes narrowed, but he said nothing. The power he once held was slipping through his fingers. Cole stepped forward, his voice steady. We come from different worlds, but together we are stronger. It is time to look beyond old grudges and find strength in friendship. The hall erupted in applause. The legend of Serena and Cole had inspired many. They were no longer a cruel joke, but a beacon of hope. In the weeks that followed, the alliance grew. New technologies combined human innovation with alien wisdom. Training centers opened to help those with injuries and challenges. The galaxy watched as a new era dawned. Serena led with grace and strength, her story reaching far beyond Valthara. She visited distant worlds, sharing her message of hope. Cole stayed by her side, the quiet engineer who had helped turn a cruel joke into a lasting legend. Baron Karzak retreated into silence, realizing that true power was not in pride or cruelty, but in the strength to change and grow. One evening, as stars shone brightly over the moon colony, Serena and Cole stood together, looking toward the future. Do you ever regret coming with me? Serena asked softly. Cole smiled. Never, because together we are unstoppable. She nodded, feeling the strength in those words. The legend was not just hers. It belonged to all who dared to believe. And so, from a cruel joke, a new legend was born, a story of courage, friendship, and the unbreakable spirit of two very different beings who walked together into a brighter tomorrow.